I'm Kambri Crews, and I'm a storyteller and a PR and marketing executive in New York City. And I also most recently wrote a memoir called Burn Down the Ground, which was published by Random House in 2012.
So you've done so many things so far in your career. What is the biggest challenge of working in like comedy in New York City? And
the comedy industry is challenging because you're working with individuals who are all talented, but in different ways, and different types of people, from young to very old, newcomers who are doing open mics to seasoned veterans, and they're all working together in the same pool of people clamoring for the exact same stage time. So dealing with personalities and entertainers can be a little crazy. And then in comedy, the shows, they start at night, so people are drinking, and you're dealing with drunk patrons heckling comedians, and it can be volatile at times and just tricky dealing with the human element.
So what made you want to write your memoir?
Well, there are a couple of things, but mainly my mother was abused by my father for many years, and we never talked about it. And there is so much power in telling your story. You take the power away from the abuser and you put it back in your own hands, and giving yourself a voice and taking ownership of your story makes you not a victim but a survivor. And that was the most important part for my one aspect of the story. The other part of it is also talking about the deaf community. There are other books about being a child of deaf adults, but they're almost glamorizing deafness and romanticizing it. But there also are complications to deaf life. For my father, he had a horrible deaf experience. My mother had a wonderful deaf experience. And really examining the different types of world views that they have and how their disabilities affected them was important to just have this time stamp of what was it like to be a deaf person in the 50s, 60s, and 70s before technology, before iPhones and FaceTime and texting and all that.
So from your long list of accomplishments, how do you think you've left your mark? Which is the biggest way so far?
I think with the book, it really has affected in a positive way people's lives for the better. I've gotten feedback from people who have had estranged relationships from their families, their parents or their brothers or sisters, and they've said, the fact that you've been able to not only forgive your father but continue to have a relationship with him makes me, I'm going to call my mom. And stuff like that has just kind of blown me away.
Like
that
life-changing.
Yeah, that the power of forgiveness, that message, also the deaf community, and having a book for my nieces to look back on and just to understand their family history.
That's so awesome.
I'm gonna cry. Stop it.
No, that's so sweet that they have that.
Yeah.
My stepmom's mother just wrote a memoir herself about her time at the Holocaust, and I was reading just sections of it over school because it's been so busy, and I was like, every time I read it, I was like tearing up.
And the older you get, I think it becomes more and more important to know about your ancestry.
Yeah.
I mean, Ancestry.com is a billion-dollar business for a reason. People have this connection. You're tethered to your past in ways that you don't even know, and you really want to find that out. To have that book that's a wonderful gift.
It's such a reference. You can just read it every once in a while and remember. So my last question for you is, if you had no constrictions, no financial, global, anything, what would your mark be that you would make on this world?
I think with animals, I always thought if I won the lottery, I would have a wildlife park or something where like every rescue dog that was about to be put down, I would take in, and I would just have fields and fields of dogs. Maybe not so many cats. I don't know. I think cats are all right.
I was just saying before how I couldn't be a vet because I couldn't put an animal down.
No, I know. It's terrible. I actually went to New Orleans after Katrina, and I volunteered for 2 weeks in animal rescue and recovery.
Really?
And it was quite possibly one of the most heart-wrenching and heartwarming 2 weeks of my life. It was really devastating, the damage, And to see owners reunited with their animals, it was just so beautiful, and it was a really, really tough 2 weeks, but I'm so glad I did it.
Do you have any animals of your own?
Yes, I actually had rescued a rabbit from New Orleans. We
Mhm.
found her owner, but unfortunately she was homeless and couldn't take the
Yeah.
rabbit, so I adopted her rabbit, and Maybelline is what I called her, because she was white with black rimmed eyes, like she was wearing mascara. She has since passed of old age, but she had another several years after Katrina. And we have 2 dogs, a Chihuahua and a rescue, and a parakeet.
A parakeet.
All in one New York City apartment.
I was just gonna say.
I told you if I were rich, I would have a
I was
ranch.
gonna say you live in New York.
I know, and I'm stuffing all these little miniature animals into my apartment.
At least it's a small dog, the
Yeah,
Chihuahua.
yeah, and the mutt is small as well, and the parakeet's that big.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.